Good evening. Welcome to Church of the Foothills. Each time we gather here, we say no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you're welcome here. And that's especially true this evening as we gather here for this marking of Maundy Thursday in this Holy Week as we prepare for the celebration of Easter on Sunday. Our service today is a service remembering Jesus' mandate. Maundy Thursday sounds kind of like mandate, right? Mandatum is the Latin word. And what is the mandate? I'm asking, what is it? It is that we love one another. Absolutely. So we gather here to remember that commandment, that mandate, that we love one another. We will do that by celebrating communion together, by hearing some readings, and we will also, in the latter half of the service, mark a time of tenebrae. So tenebrae is a word that means lots of words for us to learn today. Tenebrae means shadows, and so it's kind of stepping into the darker side of the story, because we remember if we don't take this time on this Thursday and Friday, we go from the hosannas of Palm Sunday all the way to the alleluias of Easter Sunday without realizing there is a deep valley in between. And so we will hear in story and in candlelight that story in just a moment. So as we prepare, I want to remind you that we have other things going on here during Holy Week. Tomorrow, we have our sanctuary will be open. We have some guided prayer practices that will be set up for you. I hope that you'll be here for that. There'll also be a labyrinth that will be here in our sanctuary, so it should be a nice and kind of meditative time. You can come anytime between noon and 6 o'clock. So as we begin to enter into our time of worship today, let us take a moment and center ourselves as we hear the sound of the singing bowl. We can take some deep breaths and know that we are present here with one another and the Spirit that is within us and especially among us. And now from that centered space, let us turn in our hymnals to page 626 as we rise in body or in spirit and sing as the deer. Let's sing together.
As a deer
You may be seated. We come to worship feeling the burdens of life that only God knows. But we also come feeling weary. We come feeling tired, feeling sad, feeling frustrated, feeling angry or exhausted or spent, not knowing what to do or how to live our lives fully, or how to fix things. Our world is so confusing right now, and we are sometimes feeling lost. It's time to confess to God the things that we carry and that we don't tell anybody, the things that we feel we can't speak, and the things that we don't know how to speak. I will lead us in a responsive reading in just a moment, and then after that, after the assurance of pardon, we'll have a time of silence. So let us join in this call to confession. God of love, we come to you feeling 1,000 feelings. There's too much going on, and we don't know how to handle it all. We don't even know how to put words to all that we are going through. Hear our prayers. God of love, we come to you wanting total control over our lives, the stories we live, the people around us, and our own desires. God of love, we also come to you feeling numb. Hear our prayers. God of love, we come to you in silence. Hear our prayers. God of love, we come to you because you are the source of life. Hear our prayers. Hear this good news. The God of love listens to you attentively, as an eagle stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, as it spreads its wings and takes them up and bears them aloft on its pinions. We are all listened to. We are all forgiven. Amen. Now we're going to sit in silence. Perhaps in this time you may contemplate the joy of being free. come out to the table. On this night when we gather, this night when it happened, we come to the table again. You need to know that you are invited to participate. Whether you are a member of this church or a member of any church, whether this is your first time here or your 101st time here, whether you are old or young, no matter what your gender expression or who you love, children are invited to this table. Elders are invited to this table. Everyone in between is invited to this table. You are welcome to this table by the one who loves you and knows you by name. We take communion here by intinction, which means that you'll be given a piece of bread. And today, actually, you'll be given a piece of bread, so don't be surprised by that. You'll be given a piece of bread, and then you'll dip it in the cup. The cup is juice, not wine here. So there's also a gluten-free option if you need that. Just let your communion server know. There's something for everyone. So let us join our voices with the greeting as printed in the bulletin. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Lift up your hearts.
We lift them up to the Lord.
Let us give thanks to the Lord our God.
It is right to give God thanks and praise.
God of love, you have listened to your people throughout history. You have given them light and shelter, warmth and nourishment. In Jesus, you have shown us how to love and care for each other, especially the most vulnerable. Today, we want to listen as you listen to each of us, as we listen to each other. The night before Jesus was arrested by the police of the empire, he washed the feet of his disciples. He taught them to embody the symbol of the towel wherever they went, offering care and love, being of service. As Jesus washed the disciples' feet, he listened to their words, he listened to their sounds, he listened to their breathing. God of silence and God of thunder, we listened to the birds, searching for your glory in the natural world. We listened to a song, searching for the beauty we humans can create. We listen to each other as we serve one another. We praise you for your steadfast love and for your companionship. The world is so hard right now, but we have all we need. We have the towel, we have food, we have each other, we have your Spirit. Because of your steadfast love, we have enough for everyone. And now we will feed each other with your food for us. In the name of the God of sustenance, there is enough bread for everyone here to eat. Look, friends. Look. God has food for you and for me. As a sign of love, Jesus says, "Remember me." So no one goes hungry. Now look at the bread. And for a time of silence, contemplate all the ways that we can work to make sure that no one in this community will go hungry or unassisted. Only bread that is broken can be shared. Remember. Look, friends. God has given us this cup to quench our thirst and find joy, a sign of love. Jesus says, "Remember me," so that no one goes without joy in their lives. Now look at the cup, and for a time of silence, contemplate all the ways that we will strive to live God's joy by spreading joy and laughter in this congregation. Pour out your Spirit on us gathered here, O God, and on these gifts of bread and cup. May they be reminders of your love, of your call to listen, of your call to do justice in your world. Amen. Come, friends. All things are ready. Let us share in this joyful meal. I'd like to invite the ushers and those who are serving to come forward. And let's share at Christ's table. Come, friends. Bread of life. It's the bread of life for you. It's the bread of life for you. Amen. Eric, the bread of life for you. Let us share these words after receiving. God of quiet grace, in brook and cup shared, you have met us in the holy act of listening. And as the light begins to fade toward the shadows of this night, deepen our listening so that we may hear Christ in silence and in sorrow and in the stillness, and follow him with steadfast love, even into the darkness. Amen. God is light, in whom there is no darkness at all.
Jesus Christ is the light of the world.
And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world.
And we love darkness rather than light.
Let us turn now to hymn number 764 as we prepare for Tenebrae. Let us rise in body or in spirit. You may be seated.
Jesus went forth with his disciples across the Kidron Valley, where there was a garden, which he and his disciples entered. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, for Jesus often met there with his disciples. So Judas, procuring a band of soldiers and some officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, went there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, knowing all that was to befall him, came forward and said to them, "Whom do you seek?" They answered him, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus said to them, "I am he." Judas, who betrayed him, was standing with them. When he said to them, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Whom do you seek?" And they said, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus answered, "I told you that I am he. So if you seek me, let these others go." This was to fulfill the word which he had spoken, "I did not lose a single one of those whom you gave me." Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's slave and cut off his right ear. The slave's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword into its sheath. Shall I not drink the cup which God has given me?"
So the band of soldiers and their captain and the officers of the Judean authorities seized Jesus and bound him. First, they led him to Annas, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had given counsel to the religious authorities that it was expedient that one man should die for the people.
Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. As this disciple was known to the high priest, he entered the court of the high priest along with Jesus, while Peter stood outside the door. So the other disciple, who was known to the high priest, went out and spoke to the woman who guarded the gate and brought Peter in. The woman who guarded the gate said to Peter, "Are not you also one of this man's disciples?" He said, "I am not." Now the servants and officers had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing and warming themselves. Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself.
The high priest then questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teaching. Jesus answered him, "I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in synagogues and in the temple, where all Jewish people come together. I have said nothing secretly. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me what I said to them. They know what I said." When he had said this, one of the officers standing by struck Jesus with his hand, saying, "Is that how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered him, If I have spoken wrongly, bear witness to the wrong. But if I have spoken rightly, why do you strike me?" Annas then sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest.
Now Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. They said to him, "Are not you also one of his disciples?" He denied it and said, "I am not." One of the servants of the high priest, a kinsman of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, asked, "Did I not see you in the garden with him?" Peter again denied it, and at once the cock crowed.
They led Jesus from the house of Caiaphas to Pilate's headquarters. It was early. They themselves did not enter the headquarters, so that they might not be defiled, but might eat the Passover. So Pilate went out to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" And they answered him, "If this man were not an evildoer, we would not have handed him over." Pilate said to them, Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law." And the religious authorities said to him, "It is not lawful for us to put any man to death."
Pilate entered the headquarters again and called Jesus and said to him, "Are you the King of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Do you say this of your own accord, or did others say it to you about me?" Pilate answered, "Am I a Jew? Your own nation and the chief priests have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingship is not of this world. If my kingship were of this world, my servants would fight that I might not be handed over to the religious authorities. But my kingship is not from the world." Pilate said to him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." Pilate said to him, "What is truth?"
After Pilate had said this, he went to the religious authorities again and told them, "I find no crime in him, but you have condemned a custom that I should release one man for you at the Passover. Will you have me release for you the King of the Jews?" They cried out again, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Now Barabbas was a robber.
Then Pilate took Jesus and scourged him, and the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and arrayed him in a purple robe. They came up to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews," and struck him with their hands. Pilate went out again and said to them, "See, I am bringing him out to you, that you may know that I find no crime in him." So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Behold the man." When the chief priests and the officers saw him, they cried out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and crucify him, for I find no crime in him." The religious authorities answered him, "We have a law, and by that law he ought to die, because he has made himself the Son of God." When Pilate heard these words, he was the more afraid. He entered the headquarters again and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" But Jesus gave no answer. Pilate therefore said to him, "You will not speak to me? Do you not know that I have the power to release you and the power to crucify you?" Jesus answered him, "You would have no power over me unless it had been given you from above. Therefore, he who delivered me to you has the greater sin."
Upon this, Pilate sought to release him. But the religious authorities cried out, "If you release this man, you are not Caesar's friend. Everyone who makes himself a king sets himself against Caesar." When Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called the Pavement, and in Hebrew, Gabbatha. Now it was the day of the preparation of the Passover. It was about the 6th hour. He said to the religious authorities, "Behold, your king." They cried out, "Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him!" Pilate said to them, "Shall I crucify your king?" The chief priests answered, "We have no king but Caesar." They handed him over to them to be crucified.
So they took Jesus, and he went out, bearing his own cross, to the place called the place of a skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, and Jesus between them. Pilate also wrote a title and put it on the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many of the Judeans read this title, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, in Latin, and in Greek. The Jewish chief priests then said to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but write, 'This man said, I am King of the Jews.'" And Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written."
When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his garments and made 4 parts, one for each soldier, also his tunic. But the tunic was without seam, woven from top to bottom. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, to see whose it shall be." This was to fulfill the scripture, "They parted my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots."
So the soldiers did this, but standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing near, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold, your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold, your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her to his own home.
After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, said, "I thirst." A bowl full of vinegar stood there. So they put a sponge full of the vinegar on hyssop and held it to his mouth. When Jesus had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit.
Since it was the day of preparation, in order to prevent the bodies from remaining on the cross on the Sabbath, for that Sabbath was a high day, the religious authorities asked Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first and of the other who had been crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. After this, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, for fear of the religious authorities, asked Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus. And Pilate gave him leave. So he came and took away his body.
Nicodemus also, who had at first come to him by night, came bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 pounds weight. They took the body of Jesus and bound it in linen cloths with the spices, as is the burial custom of the Jews.
Now in the garden where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb where no one had ever been laid. So because of the Jewish day of preparation, as the tomb was close at hand, they laid Jesus there.
Friends, as we go from this place, may we continue to listen. Go in peace.